Okay. So yesterday what we discussed that when you will use the cache memory, we first discussed the data size, right? That the same data is being used in cache and that data is being taken from main memory. So that means the length of data, that means how much amount of data your system can handle, rather I can say. It may be 32 bit, maybe 64 bit, whatever kind of word length it can handle. So that word length will be similar to everyone, right? Because the same data may be handled by cache memory, the same data may be handled by main memory. So all these things can be done. That means data length, when or in which location your data will be stored, that word length or bit length will be similar, right? Now the difference is in address lines, because once you are using, say for example, 1 GB of RAM, right? So how much address lines are there? It is basically 2 to the power 10, again 2 to the power 10, right? So and then 2 to the power 10 into 10, that means we can see that 2 to the power 20. So around 20 plus address lines may be there, right? But at the same time, if you are using a cache memory of 1 megabyte, okay, or 2 megabyte of cache memory if you are using, then how much address lines you are using for the cache memory? It is around 2 to the power 10 into 2, so that means 11 address lines only. So now your task will be to map or to manage those 11 address lines with the previous 20 address lines of your main memory part, right? So this technique actually can be managed by some kind of mapping procedure. Okay, so this mapping technique we will discuss today, right? And in this mapping part, there are different kinds of mapping like associative, like direct, like set associative. So gradually, one by one, this thing will be discussed, right? So this thing we have discussed yesterday, that cache lines, that how your data will be similar, then block, then set, this kind of different terms are there. Tag index we also discussed, valid bit, dirty bit, when it is a cache hit, when it is a cache miss, all these things was just brushed up. Now today's task is to start from this point: associative mapped cache, direct mapped cache, and set associative mapped cache. Okay, so first let us take one example, just like the example I was giving to you, that your main memory has some kind of size and your cache memory also has some kind of size. Both the things are connected with the CPU. Then how you will manage the mapping? So initially when you will start, we will take the example like, this thing. Okay, like say you are using cache memory mapping, okay, and this is your CPU, this is your main memory, this is your cache memory. So till now what the concept we have already covered, right now you can easily identify if this type of structure has been given to you. What is this 12? It is your data length, right? So that means your data has a length of 12 bit, right? Here also 12 bit. So both the things are equal, no problem, because the same data you are keeping in main memory, the same data you may need to keep in cache memory, right? Now the point is address locations or address lines. So how many locations are there in the main memory? It is 32K, right? So that means in your main memory there is a total number of memory locations as 32K, which can be represented as 2 to the power 5.2 to the power 10. that is equals to actually 2 to the power 15. So that means your main memory having how much address lines associated with it? It is 15, right? I hope you understand. And from where we took this concept? Initially we were discussing like this, that when it is a point of calculating the address lines, we first took some short examples and we discussed like that if you have a locations varying from 000 to 111, you can see that how much total number of locations are possible in this range. It is actually 8, right? 0000001 010 up to 111, or more 4 numbers of locations are there, whatever will be 8. So how you are getting this 8? How many address lines were there, or how many bits were there? It is 3, right? 1 2 3. So when you are using 3 lines, you are getting 2 to the power 3 number of locations. Similarly, here when you are getting a total 2 to the power 15 number of locations, then how many number of lines will be there? It is 15, right? So for main memory, I can write number of address lines are 15, right? So you can write it here, 15 number of address line. Okay. And secondly, when you are discussing about the cache memory, so here total locations are 512, right? So 512 locations means how many address lines will be possible? It is 512 means 2 to the power 9. So that means total 9 number of location. So that means you can write it here that in your cache memory, total 9 number of address locations. Okay. So this is just the beginning. What just I have discussed. Number of locations. Some students has joined it. For them, I can again discuss the same thing. Okay, other can take little bit of rest now. So that means we are actually discussing the cache mapping techniques. Okay. So just like that, your cache memory may be a size of 2 MB cache memory, 4 MB cache memory, but parallelly your RAM size is 4 GB, 8 GB, whatever may be, large kind of. So that means the number of locations, if you discussing that how many number of locations are there in your main memory, it is quite larger than the cache memory. So parallelly the address lines, that means the address pins are being connected with the main memory and cache memory, that is completely different. So data length is same, right? Because what the data you are keeping in cache or what the data you are keeping in main memory, that is equal. Just like you are the student, so whether you are staying in your home or you are staying in the hostel, you remain you, right? Your length, breadth, width, everything is equal to everywhere. So that means those who will provide you the basic setup of life, those setup will be equal, right? Now the point is that at which time you are staying in at which location. If you are in home, then some extra advantage is there. If you are in hostel, then not that type of infrastructural advantage you will get, but some other kind of advantage you can get, right? Some more friends will be there, some other amenities will be there. You can enjoy the life of college. So this type of thing is separate, right? But both the things are required. So that kind of thing. The same data sometimes may be kept in main memory, may be kept in cache memory, but data is data. They are with the same. Our task is to identify that how the big amount of main memory storage can be mapped with the small amount of cache memory storage, right? That is the point. So now anyone has any specific point or any discussion or any queries regarding this thing, any concept he is thinking that this thing also can be discussed, any kind of this thing? If no, that is also no problem. Okay. Okay, no problem. Now we can again we will see that particular mapping technique. We will check now that for our ease of calculation only. Okay, no other logic. Only for the advantage of our calculation, we will consider here that every data is in octal format. Okay. So again, I am repeating, only for the advantage of your calculation now. You are considering that every data is here is in octal form. So octal form means to represent this 15 number of address lines, how many number you have to write or how many bit pattern you have to write? It is only 5. So those 5 will be vary from 00000 to 77777, because we have considered, suppose, right, we have considered these numbers are in octal form. That is why we don't need to write here 15 bits, rather we are writing only 5 bits, because in octal this 7 means 111, this 7 means 111, this 7 means 111. So 5 number of 7 means 5 into 3, total 15 number of bits will be there. Same thing, right? So this was your main memory's bit pattern. Now if you are similarly considering the cache memory, so it will be varying from 0000 to 777. So it will be the cache memory bit pattern. Okay. Now, what is being considered in the tag and index concept? They were saying that in your whole main memory bit pattern, there will be some section who will remain static. Okay, who will remain static, and there will be someone who will remain dynamic. In that reference, they are basically dividing this main memory in bits into some of the sections as tag, some of the sections as index. Okay, so those tag will be mapped with the cache and index will be remain same. That is our basic task. So now when you will check this mapping technique, gradually you will see all of this kind of concept. So first mapping technique is associative mapping. Okay, first mapping technique, associative mapping. So in this associative mapping, a block in main memory can be mapped to any block in the cache memory available, not already occupied. That means in your cache memory, there is also some section which is holding some data, which is not holding some data. So that means in your cache memory, those blocks are empty. That block can be mapped with any kind of main memory data. Where it will be mapped? In that location which is not already occupied. That means which is free. If you are right now free, then only you may be able to take responsibility of any student club of any, or maybe you are a member of any student club. Right now you are not handling any event. You are free. So then only your superior can be your supervisor can give you some kind of work, right? So this kind of thing actually, that who is free, that particular location has been assigned with the data. So this simple associative mapping, and here a simple memory mapping technique will be done. No kind of tag index separation or no kind of this type of specific technique will be maintained. Simply it will be searched the argument register, right? Argument register we have already used where in our MIPS programming. And when we are using right now, most of you I hope are doing programming from array, right? So whenever you are handling array, most of the time we are starting like this. We are using a load word statement and we are just keeping one register like S0, S1, whatever may be, and we are just taking the address of the initial section of the array, of the initial location of the array, right? We are just giving the identifier name and that particular address has been transferred to that particular register. So what is actually, who is actually responsible to change this thing? We are writing LA followed by some register followed by the name. So that means once we are targeting to transfer the register address, right? Then only we are using this argument register command LA. Similar kind of thing here. CPU address you need to store in your register. So you are using argument register. 15-bit argument register are holding that 15-bit amount of data and that data is being mapped with here. Once it is finding any match, it will store the data, and once it is not finding any match, it will not store any data. So that means there is no specific search pattern, there is no what I can say, there is no other technique based on which you can minimize your search time or whatever may be. So that means if you think about advantage, you don't need to follow anything, right? Just like you are the first member who is coming into hostel and people have said you that you can take any room according to your wish. So you have option to select from 100 rooms, you have selected any one. That is one option. That is advantage, right? But that is also parallelly one disadvantage maybe, because once you have much more option, first you will search the room number 1, then you will search room number 2, then you will search room number 3. Everything is good. That is why you will take much more time to decide, right? Whatever the advantage is there in the room number 1, the same thing is there in the room number 10. But in our basic human nature, whenever we have much more option, we utilize much more time to select, right? So that means we will take much more time to select our room. So advantage and disadvantage both I hope you understood. Advantage is you have option to select anyone. Disadvantage is it will be slow. The same thing is applicable in case of associative mapping technique. Advantage is flexibility. That means a main memory block can be mapped anywhere in the cache memory. Just you have to find the location available, right? And disadvantage is that it is slow. You have to search through all the cache memory block, which one is vacant. Then you can put the data. So similarly, right now you can throw the question. This is the example of main memory block, right? 5-bit, that means 15-bit address has been shown here. Corresponding data has been written here. Now in my cache memory there is only 9-bit, that means 3-bit address according to octal. So how you will map? That is the point being discussed here, that no specific kind of mapping technique or no specific kind of algorithm are being followed here. Only it is searching that whether any space is available, it will just put the data here. So in your cache memory, if any space is available, this data particularly will be kept into that location. Okay, so this is the example of associative mapping. Now let us move to the direct mapping. Okay, so in case of direct mapping, we will use the concept of tag and index, right? Because here we will not search throughout all the available locations. We will use some techniques and we will use those techniques to map this particular data with that particular data. Okay, so Anyone, any cross question regarding this associative mapping technique? Because very soon you will get lots of problems in LMS regarding these three mapping techniques and three cache memory part. And in end term also, you can expect much more numerical problems from cache memory part. So I will request everyone that try to solve by your own. Don't search everything in internet. Okay. I have already shared the which book I can say the Morris Mano with you. You can get a lots of numerical problem in every chapter end. Okay, you can also get a lots of solution of them. Where you can get the solution? Just search in internet the Morris Mano solution. You will get the whole solution. Okay, so practice some of the numerical problems from there. Also, you will upload someone. So both the things you will merge lots of problems you will in your hand. And I can say that some of the problems we are just following from that book exercise. Okay, they are not any difficult thing, or they are not any, we are not any inventor, like we are inventing some questions, not like this. Okay, whenever you will check this direct mapping technique, we will basically make two parts, right? One is tag and one is index. So now the point is, as we discussed earlier, that your index is fixed. You cannot change the index. You can change the tag part. So how you can change the tag part? So let me just show you. So think about that you have your main memory address varying like 0, 0, 0, 0, 0 up to 77777, right? So this is your main memory address. Here some data you have stored. Okay. Now in your cache memory, there is how many address lines? 3. That means 512 lines we took the example. That means this data can be varying from 0000 to 777. Right? So that means you have to separate your tag and index based on this cache memory location setup. So as your you can write it here as cache, you can write it here as main. So that means as your cache is varying from 000 to 777, so that means 3-bit you have to also keep for your main memory index part. So that means this thing you will keep as your index. So now we will read what was written in this tag index part. To avoid the search through all CM blocks, CM means cache memory, needed by associative mapping, this method only allows to map each block of main memory into only one possible cache line. Right? In general, there are 2 to the power n words in main memory and 2 to the power k words in cache memory. Right? So 2 to the power k words in cache memory. So how many address lines will be there? It is k simply, right? So that means n bit address is divided into two parts. Which was n bit address? The main memory lines was n bit address, just like here. It is your n bit address, right? And it is your k number of address. So you will keep this k number as your index field. So that means you can say this 3 just like k is your index bit, right? And how much length of this thing will be? It is simply n minus k, because the total is n. Any little bit of confusion? What I just told? If any confusion is there, or no confusion is there, I am just being silent for 1 minute. You just think what is being happened here. Okay. Right. So now again I will start. In reference to the structure, or in reference to the, what I can say, the kind of nature, index is static, right? Because why index is static? Because these particular locations are representing the cache part and also representing the memory part, main memory part. So anyhow you have to map this thing with this thing. Now, how we are actually creating much more space using this separation? It is just related to the initial part when we read the memory architecture. Some of you threw the question that, sir, how the 20-bit address is being managed by 16-bit register, right? So at that time, what we discussed, that 16-bit will be fixed and rest of the 4-bit will be used as a selection bit. So those 4-bit will be used to select those 16 bits. That means 4 for first one 16, for the second one more 16, for the third one more 16. So just like this it will be continued. So similar concept will be used here. 2-bit has been fixed for tag here and 3-bit has been fixed for index here. So that means for 00 you will have all the options of 000 to 777. For 01, you will have all the options from 000 to 777. For 02, it is the same. So just like this thing, it will be continued, right? So now, if you are having a location like 01, 000, and another location like 04, 000, so if you see, this index part is just similar with both the cases. So you cannot decide whether you will keep this data in this place or you will keep this data in this place. You cannot decide right now, right? Because this is your index data. Index data is being mapped, no problem. But tag is different. Two tag data is there. So for two different data, two different address, two different data may be available. So which of the operand you will keep yourself? What will think? What will be the thought process of cache memory? We don't know, right? That is why the memory mapping technique is very much essential. Okay, and in your whole cache memory, there are some type of storage units also. Maybe whenever you will do the numerical problems, or if you open the MIPS simulator also right now, you can see also this thing that whenever you will run any kind of program, after the completion of the program, your cache is holding some set, some block, some word. So there are some combinations that a whole cache memory having this much amount of bit for set number, this much amount of bit for line number, this much amount of bit for block number. So after all of this thing, tag and index is also a part of them. So from there, this tag field will be mapped and this data will be kept in the cache memory. Okay, so for example, we can just now open this simulator. Okay, and we can again start executing. So I was in between of a program, I think. So I have to just stop maybe this program. Okay, I have closed it, and if you just again open anything, maybe this program I have opened. I don't know whether this program is correct or wrong. Correct. So anything you can put, whatever maybe. Now we will just open the data cache simulator. You can see. Actually, our task is not to identify the programs. We are just right now we'll check the simulator of cache. If you open the MARS, whatever being used by our lab, you will again see the data cache simulator. Open it, you can see the placement policy, the first one. It has been shown direct mapping. If you click on it, you can see the different other technique also. Fully associative, n-way state associative. So what is fully associative? Just now what the example we took before direct mapping, right? That was the associative mapping technique. And later we will read the set associative mapping. So that is the n-way set associative. Why n-way? I will discuss. Right now this technique is following the direct mapping technique. Okay. Now what is the number of blocks? You can see 8. What is the number of cache block? 4. Cache size in byte, that is 128. Set size. Okay. So some number of blocks will represent one set. That the thing was discussed in earlier day. What is the replacement policy? There are different cache replacement policy. We will also discuss that cache is a small storage. So how you will put any data today and tomorrow you will change this data. What should be the logic behind it? So all of these things you can discuss. Okay. So whenever you will take this simulator and you will just connect to MIPS. Okay. And then when you will just run this program again. So you have run this program again. See some difference you can identify. Cache block table, cache hit ratio, memory access count. Now, if you take two things or if you do two things, once you will do one step at a time. Whenever we are running the program in MIPS, there is option one step at a time. So if you just put one step at a time and you are just running one after another every program, then you will see that in every step of your program how the cache memory is being handled. Right now just where I am stopped, enter the upper limit. Okay, so it is asking me to enter some data. So I have not entered any data. So how it is calculating the cache hit rate? Because in your program you also kept this statement, entered the upper limit. That is also one execution, and that execution has been done. That is why it is being said at enter the upper limit, and your cache memory has already this data. Okay, so now when you will put any data into it, say you have written any data like 5, you can see now your cache hit ratio has been increased. You can see the memory access count has been increased, cache hit count has been increased, miss count maybe almost it was 2, right now it is 3. Right. So all these things you can more clearly identify if you just run one step at a time of any program. Take any small program from your initial assignments. Now select one step at a time and you just put one step, you just check what the changing is being done in your cache. You can change the mapping technique also. So right now not only all the mapping techniques has been covered, only direct up to direct we have covered. So you can check this direct part. Okay, and here also if you change this other thing, just like say you are you want to change this block size. So if you put it 16, okay, the data has been changed. Now all the other thing has been changed because you have changed your block size. Again you have to run the program and again you have to check that how much data is there, how much data is not there, whatever may be, all the other thing. Okay, so this thing is quite interesting. You may feel if you just observe them or if you try to explore them, then only. But again, the thing, I am not forcing anyone that you have to do this thing. It is just for your own understanding or your own interest. Okay, these are not the part that I am going to give in exam. I will not ask you in exam that if I open the Mars simulator, if I open the cache simulator, if I open the data block, how many data you will see there. This type of thing will not be given. From simulator, this only register related question will be given. Just like what the question I have given already. The register address calculation. Okay. Then the which register is holding how much data. So all this part, they are very easy. So this thing will be for you. Okay, but this type of question, just like one program will be given and you will need to do the program again and again you have to check that what is being held by your cache. So that is not be given. Okay, but this is for your own understanding. This is for your own reference. This is for your own interest. If you have, then you can check. If you don't have, then no problem. Okay, everything is acceptable. So now when we will move to this direct mapping part, what we were discussing actually. So till now we have seen this. Now one example we will take from the book example. So here the separation has been done. Okay, so initially it was your primary memory 6-bit tag, 9-bit index. Why 9-bit index? Just now I told that in your cache there is 9-bit address lines. So that is why 9-bit index. Just like the example 2 to the power k, 2 to the power n. So k number of index and n minus k number of tag. So this same concept is being used here, right? So in our all the addresses are being represented in octal. So that is why 5-bit has been written. Data is 12-bit. That is why 4-bit has been written here. You can see the data 4-bit only has been written because they are 12-bit. So we are representing in octal. So 4 into 3, that is 12. Okay, and the other thing is main memory and cache memory has been separated. Address is 15-bit, data is 12-bit. Here address is 9-bit, data is 12-bit. Just like our data bit is same in both the cases. Okay, now when you are just trying to map, okay, now look here. In your cache memory, these index addresses are varying from 000 to 777. Data field is there. Now what I just told, that in your cache there are some separate field which will represent the tag, which will represent the valid bit, dirty bit, which will represent the what I can say, the earlier day we were discussing the set, index, tag, all these things. So cache memory will have all these sections, right? So now in tag there will be must some tag number will be stored, right? So now if your tag field is also representing a 00, okay, if your tag field is also representing a 00 as well as index is 000, that means you will put this data, you will not put this data because your tag is not being mapped. Similarly, if you consider in case of 777, your index is 777, your tag is 02. So where this thing has been stored? In this location, you can see 777 and 02. 777 and 02. So the same data has been mapped. Just like this. Okay. So advantage is that it is much more faster, right? Because if you are using this direct mapping technique, it will not be used to search all the available memory locations. Again, the same kind of example that you are in Bennett, class is going on in physical mode, your lab work is going on. So if some person is there to meet you, and if he has your timetable in his hand, he will simply search that right now is your class is going on or not. Class is going on, done. Then which class is going on? It is lab or theory? It is lab. Which lab? the corresponding particular lab. So if he knows that which is that particular lab, which is Python lab 1, which is Python lab 2, he can directly approach to that lab and he can find you very easy, right? So this thing is kind of direct mapping technique. It is much faster. So what is the disadvantage? Is there a disadvantage? Yes, main disadvantage is there. Look, this 7, you have just now put this data 000 with tag 00 and you have put this data 777 and 02. Now consider, think, all the in between memory places are free, right? We have not put any data into it. Any question? Okay. So now think that all the other locations in between, they are free. We have not put any data. And you are trying to keep these data into your cache. 01777. How you will put this data? You have filled this field, you have filled this field. Now you need to get this data in your cache memory 01 followed by 777. All the other memory locations are free. Will you be able to store this data in your cache? Any idea? It is a no. Why no? Because if you observe in this address, the index field is 777. And in the direct mapping technique, first we will check the index. If your index is free, then only you can approach to enter some data. But right now your index is filled with another address data. The tag is different. You can see 777, it is 02. So you have only this index available in the whole memory range and the index is same. So you cannot be able to enter this data into cache memory now. You have to wait until and unless this data is free. So what you need to do? You have to remove this data and then you have to enter this data. Right? So that means irrespective of all the other places are free, you cannot use them. Rather than you have to replace one existing data. And you have to keep this practice more and more time, because in the next time if you need some other data with the same index field, again you have to replace. So you are not properly utilizing your spaces. That is the disadvantage of direct mapping technique. Okay. So that is the point actually has been written, that they will keep replacing each other even though all the other cache memory blocks may be available. So wherever they are available or not, you cannot be use them unless and until you can only replace the same index location. So that is the disadvantage of direct mapping technique. Okay. So the next point is set associative. But it is 9:17, so I think it will be better if I start set associative on the next day. Okay. So anyone has any discussion? And Nazar, I just muted you because I was just talking, that is why. So if you have any further query, you can ask me now.